Right, good morning. Wednesday's Pilates session. Good, you managed to find this link okay. I don't know what I did on the other one. Right, very quickly, my spiel to say, please take care when you're exercising. I'm unable to make any personal corrections or help you with your alignment, so you're going to have to make sure that you work within your own personal limitations. And if you feel dizzy or sick or any pain whatsoever, you need to stop. You need to assess maybe why that's happening. Maybe you need to re-engage through your powerhouse, move on, or perhaps you need to stop. So that's up to you to make that judgment call. Now, if you've never done Pilates before, I wouldn't advise you to follow this class because I'm not going to give you enough instruction. So I'm going to point to the corner here because I've worked out how to put a little card up to link you to my beginners video. So where I'm pointing now is where that's going to come up. Hopefully, I've got to obviously put that in. So learning every day. That's about it then. We can get started. Again, just make sure that you're working to maintain your flexibility, your mobility, and your strength. Right, so let's start. We're going to have those feet together. We're just going to zip up through the thighs, pull up through the pelvic floor and draw the belly in towards the spine. Keep those shoulders down, hands rested by your side. We're going to open up those toes like a ballerina, followed by your heels. So we should find that feet are parallel, hip distance apart. So we're gently going to roll onto the balls of the feet and back onto your heels. So we're staying strong through the center. Just gently breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Then we're going to take it over onto one side and then back over onto the other side. So as we peel one foot away from the floor, we feel the weight shifting, but we're still nice and strong here. Excellent. Coming back to that center point where we have the weight evenly over both feet. Just gently soften up those knees for me. And we're going to do some pelvic tilts. So I'll do this from the side. It's a small movement. We just tuck the bottom under and then we let the bottom go out behind you, arching through the back and then tucking the bottom under again. So just working with your range of movement, staying stabilized through the upper body. Often in class, I see people kind of using the upper body to try and get that movement. So we're going to stay neutral here and just tuck and tilt the pelvis instead. Last one, we've got that range of movement available to us where we're going to find the midpoint now, and that should be our neutral spine. So let's grow nice and tall now out of the crown of the head. So really float up towards the ceiling. Keep that chin parallel to the floor. So don't lift the chin up to the ceiling. Tuck the chin in, if anything, so that you feel longer down the back of the neck. Shoulders come up towards your ears. We press them behind and then gently draw them down towards your heels. So if you're trying to slide your shoulder blades into your back pockets. So we're going to draw up the pelvic floor now. So that's about a 30% engagement. And then we're going to take a nice belly breath. So fill your belly up with breath. And then as you exhale, you are physically going to pull that belly button in towards your spine and you will feel this tightening here across the lower abdomen. This is your core, your powerhouse, your center. So we're going to stay nice and strong here while we breathe into the side and the back of the rib cage. So it's a deep breath in through the nose and you feel the rib cage coming out to the side. And as you exhale, you force the air out and you pull in through the tummy. So this is our Pilates breathing. Let's do a few more breaths. So we breathe in while we're strong here. And then we exhale and get even stronger through the center. Feel the ribcage expanding out to the side. Last one, in through the nose. out through the mouth. We're going to mobilize the body next. So staying in our nice Pilates posture, it's a breath in, lengthen through the spine. Exhale to look over one shoulder. Inhale back to the center. Exhale to look over the other side. We're going to add in some arms here. So the arms are going to come up towards the ceiling. Keep the shoulders down away from your ears. And as you press those arms behind, you turn to look over one shoulder. Inhale. And exhale. Turn to look over the other shoulder. Now we're keeping the spine neutral. There's no movement through the spine. Try to draw your armpits down. So we're mobilizing the shoulders, mobilizing the neck, using the breath. Last couple. Last one. Perfect. We're just going to do some elbow circles just to loosen up a little bit more through the shoulders. Again, keeping that neutral spine. If this is too much, you can just do shoulder rolls like this. Let's change the direction. And we'll make this the last one. So we bring those hands down by the side. So keep those hips fixed, facing the front. We're going to take a breath in. Rise those arms up as you exhale, just looking over your shoulder, but the hips are still facing forward. So what we're getting is that spine rotation. You can feel those oblique muscles, the ones at the side, drawing you round. We're still staying engaged through the core. And free that movement up. So big spiral now from the toes to the top of the head. And then we gently come back to the center, thinking about lining up those feet with your knees, with your hips. Nice pull in through the tummy. And it's a breath in. We bring one arm up towards the ceiling. It's a breath in. We bring the other arm up towards the ceiling. I'm going to come down onto my knees so you can see what my hands are doing, but you can do this on your knees too if you want. So from here, we're going to take a breath in. Lengthen those arms away, keep the shoulders down. As you exhale, we reach up and over to the opposite corner of the room. Stay nice and tall. Make sure we're moving from the side. And we're going to lower that outside arm. Just let it flop down. And then we keep the palm facing away from you. And we gently bring it back up. Keep that shoulder blade down away from your ears. Bringing it up. It almost feels like you can feel that beach ball between your arms. And then we're going to draw ourselves back up to the center. Breath in, exhale, pull in through the tummy as we go over to the other side. And again, it's the lengthening through the spine that is so key here. Let that outer arm fall away. Turn the palm to face away from you. And again, slowly, slowly keep the shoulder blade down. We bring your hand up to hold that beach ball overhead. And we bring ourselves back up nice and tall. Now imagine you've grabbed a rope in each hand, and we're going to draw those ropes down from the ceiling, and there's a lot of resistance there. So drawing down. Bring those elbows into the side, let the hands rest by your side. Coming back up to standing if you were on your knees. We're going to now, so we've mobilized that spine, we're now going to stabilize the spine. So good pull up and pull in. Hello, boy. And the cats are bored of this now. They see me doing it every day. So keep those hips nice and level. And we're just going to do some circles with that hip joint. So we're trying to keep the pelvis stable while we move through the hip. Now, you might want to do this with a bent leg. You might be happy with a straight leg. And then let's change the direction of those circles. We're pulling in through the tummy, so we're still working through the core. One of the things about Pilates is we are always aware of our core. We use it in pretty much every single exercise. I can't think of one where we wouldn't. So have that awareness today. Let's let that leg go out nice and long behind. Again, pulling up the pelvic floor, pulling in through the tummy. As we tip forwards, we've got a straight diagonal line. We're going to squeeze through the bottom, pull in through the tummy, and lift and tap that lovely straight leg behind. Or we keep that leg hovered and pulse it. Now, try to keep your focus on me, not on my cat who's showing off behind me. He's obviously not bored of being in the videos now. Right, let us now bring that knee to the front, and we're going to rotate at the ankle one way, and then change that direction. Ooh, tipping over, hopefully not you. Anyway, I lost my balance a bit there. Let's do the same on the other side. So squaring up that Pilates box, nice and strong through the center, and we do those leg circles. Keep the supporting legs soft. We don't want the knees locking out. Now, if you know that you have hypermobility, you're going to want to work at maybe 90%, because when you really straighten up your legs, you find that they go too far and the joints become under pressure. Let's change direction. So any hypermobility, add in to my instructions, add in, just work at 90%. Everyone else, of course, we're going to be doing 100%, right? Last one. We'll leave that foot out behind. Again, we tip forwards. So we've got that straight diagonal line, lift and tap, nice straight leg. Keep it hovered if you want, and pulse it. The movement is coming from your glutes, from your hip. Stability through the pelvis, movement through the thigh bone, essentially. Then we're going to bring that knee to the front, rotate at the ankle one way, and change direction. Then we can lower down onto the floor. So we've got a balance next. Let's do a aeroplane balance, I think. We'll do this one. I think is one of the harder balances that I do, because it incorporates a bit more movement. So we're going to have hands in prayer position. We bring the elbows wide, which helps us draw the armpits, the shoulder blades down, lifting one knee up. I'll go sideways for this. So lifting one knee up. It's a breath in. As you exhale, extend your arm and your leg out in front. And then we open up through the arms, and the leg is going to follow around to the side. Then we bring the leg behind. Good pull up and pull in as we lengthen through the limbs now, coming into our aeroplane. So you might want to just come as far as here. That's fine. Think about lengthening. If you want, you can come a bit further. We're aiming for parallel to the floor, keeping the arms wide. Let's come back to the start position. Try not to put your foot on the floor. So we stay nice and balanced. It's a breath in. As you exhale, we extend out in front. And again, opening up through the arms. Keep the hands as high as your shoulders. Follow back behind you with that leg. And again, nice long limb as we start to tip forwards. Keep that supporting leg softened. Again, we don't want to lock out at the knee. And we come down as far as feels comfortable, a bit wobbly. Well, I am anyway. And lengthen through the limbs, and then we finish where we started. Nice and graceful, ready to do the same on the other side. So I'll do this one facing forwards. Let's do hands in prayer position. Draw the shoulders down, length through the crown of the head. It's a breath in. As you exhale, we extend out in front, and we open up through the arms. The leg continues behind. We're pulling up and pulling in, staying nice and strong now in the center. And again, you might just come here, lengthen through those limbs, lengthen through the crown of the head, or we come forwards, trying to come down into our aeroplane opposite. So we're parallel to the floor, or as near as you can get. Let's come back to the start. Try not to put your foot on the floor. Breath in. Exhale to extend. And again, keep those shoulders down. Keep pulling in through the tummy. Drawing up that pelvic floor. Continue behind with that foot. And again, coming down forwards, bending from the hip. Lengthen through the limbs. A bit wobbly today. And then we finish how we started. Well done. Now we come down to the mat. Make sure you've got all your bits and pieces to hand. So what we're going to use today, we might use the towel. We probably will use the band, so dressing gown band or yoga band or TheraBand if you've got one of those stretchy ones, and a couple of cans for hand weights. You can use things like, if you've got ankle weights and you want to use those, you know they're safe for you, then that's another option to up the ante a little bit. So standing at the end of your mat, thinking about your Pilates posture, we're just going to lengthen through the spine. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, we're going to start rounding down through the vertebrae one at a time. Watch those knees, keep them soft. Try not to poke the bottom out as you round down one vertebrae at a time, relaxing through the shoulders and the arms and the head and the neck. When we come down as far as feels comfortable for you, take a breath in. Exhale, we're going to start building back up. So try to tuck that bottom under, building the vertebrae up one by one. Shoulders come up, back and down. Good pull in through the tummy, keep that spine neutral. Ready to go again. So lovely mobility of the spine. Learning to relax through the shoulders as well. You might need to walk your hands down if you are finding it a bit too difficult to let the hands hang heavy. You can walk your hands down your legs. Breath in here. And we're going to start restacking again. And really visualize each vertebrae coming up, building back up on top of the other one, like little children's building blocks. Last roll down. And when we're at the bottom of this last one, we are just going to hang about and let everything relax and hang nice and long and heavy. Maybe you need to hold your elbows just to bring your hands off the floor. And we're going to let the arms just move about a little bit so that you get some movement through the shoulder. Keep the upper body still. Don't forget to let the head hang nice and long and heavy so we're all relaxed through the upper body. Nod the head as well, as if you're saying yes. Shake the head. So we're really trying to get lots of space in between those vertebrae. Now, when I first started doing this, I used to get all kinds of pops and squeaks and noises going on when I nodded my head. Less so now, which I can just take as a good thing. So we're going to walk forwards on our hands and knees and come into a 4-point kneeling position. Now, for some people, this isn't a great position because you might have wrist issues, you might have knee issues. So there are options to put maybe cushion underneath your knees, offer a bit more padding, or even just under the shins to keep the knees off the floor. You might find that your wrists don't like being here, so you can roll up your mat and lift the heels of the hand higher than the fingers. That is one option. If that's not enough, you can come onto your knuckles. And if that's not enough, Well, we can go down onto elbows, but it kind of changes the exercise a little bit. So if you can come onto your wrists. And the other option, of course, is to just have a sit down and wait until we move on to the next exercise. None of this is obligatory. It's only meant to be done if you think it's going to do you good. So toes underneath you, because we're going to come up onto our toes. Now, draw your shoulders wide. So I want you to feel wide through the collarbones. Look down at the mat. Keep that neck long. And I want you to imagine that you've got a really pretty necklace and you're just trying to show somebody that necklace. So just, it's a very subtle feeling of opening and lifting through the chest here. Neutral spine, don't arch through the lower back. Good pull up through the tummy and the pelvic floor. And it's a breath in. Get on with it, you're saying. It's a breath in. And as you exhale, engage through your core and just lift your knees 1 inch away from the floor. And stay neutral through the spine. Press the mat away. And we're going to breathe into this. And lengthen through the spine. Really engaging through the core. You might hold it for 3 or 4 breaths. Lower back down. Take a moment. Ready to go back into that position. So, neutral spine. Don't lose your form. Don't let those knees come too high. Literally just hovering off the mat. Last couple of breaths. We're going to do maybe one more, shall we? And we can add in a little bit of movement here if you want to. Breath in. Again, we're hovering. Now, just bring one knee in towards the chest. Don't let it come back too far. We're thinking about the knees being underneath the hips. We've really fired up that core. Last one on each side. Last couple of breaths. Oh, lovely. Just think back. Have a little stretch. Maybe walk those hands away. Stretch out through those shoulders. Keep the shoulder blades down away from your ears though, so you're getting a nice stretch through those shoulders. Let's come to a sitting position now. We're going to do some spine twists. Again, just to mobilize the spine. So I like to sit cross-legged. You've got the option to have those legs out straight. Whichever works for you. We want to get that neutral spine. So nice and tall now through the crown of the head. Draw those shoulders down and back. Good pull in through the tummy. That gap between your ribs and your hips, you want to be extending it. So grow up out of your pelvis. Lengthen the spine. Good pull in through the tummy. Really focus on that length there. That in itself feels like an exercise, right? Yep. So thumbs on your sternum, your breastbone here. Fingertips connected to your chin. Hands in prayer position. Bring those elbows up and wide. Don't lose that gap at the waist. It's a breath in. As you exhale, draw yourself round. Try to stay lifted. So it's not about going round and pretending that you're in The Exorcist. Don't laugh because you won't be able to stay nice and tall if you laugh. It's about drawing yourself around to that point where you feel like you're going to lose that lovely length through the waist. So just go as far as that. Inhale back to the center. Really focus on that height through the waist. This is where you're going to get that most benefit. We can bring those arms in front. So it's more like Cossack, just crossing the arms. But just make sure you don't kind of carry on and draw those elbows round. You're supposed to be sort of a fixed position. It's only movement through the waist and through the spine that is happening. Last couple. How have you sunk into your waist yet? I hope not. Make sure that you've got that lovely length through the waist, length through the spine. Last one. Where are your shoulders? Let's keep them down. Lovely. Well done. We can just do a very simple stretch over to one side just to release that off. Yes, we've got some roll back and a little combination. Again, it's sort of rotation of the spine. So go easy. If this causes you pain, don't do it. Don't do the rotation. If you have any osteoporosis or anything like that, don't do that rotation at all. So listen to your body. Let's have the legs bent a little bit. Feet flat on the floor. Knees bent. Hip distance apart. We're going to start just by holding the back of the thighs. Neutral spine. Breath in. Keep those shoulders down and back. And as you exhale, imagine you've been punched in the belly and you're pulling that belly away from that punch, making a C shape through the spine. It's a breath in at the bottom here. Exhale, drawing yourself back up into our neutral. Exhale, back down we go, just halfway. As you do that C-shaped spine, I still want you to think about length through the crown of the head. So it's almost like you've got a tangerine between your chin and your chest, and you're trying to still extend through the crown of the head. So it's all about a nice long spine. Let's take those hands away now. Exhale. And as you exhale, just open up through the arm. Inhale, coming back to the center. And exhale. We've got that rotation. We just open up. Inhale back to the center. You must make sure that you are engaging your core to protect your lower back. Gosh, that was a rhyming thing, wasn't it? You must make sure to engage your core. How do we do that? We draw up the pelvic floor and we pull the belly button in towards the spine. Try to tuck that belly button underneath your ribs. Let's do the last one on each side so that we've done the same on both sides. You might find that the front of your thighs are burning a little bit. Well, they're joining in on the action, really. We want to try and focus more on the abdominals. So really engage deeply through those abdominals to try and take the pressure off these hip flexor muscles. So we're going to come down onto the mat now. Any way that you like. A roll back is always a good option. So tucking the bottom under, rolling down through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. We're going to do the 100 next. So with the 100, we have these arm beats. So with the arm beats, a nice long, strong arm from the shoulder. Think of that movement coming from the shoulder. Don't let your wrists go wishy-washy. Don't let your elbows go wishy-washy. And we do 5 beats while we breathe in. Turn the palms to face the ceiling and do 5 beats while you exhale. So you've got a good control through the center here, good powerhouse, and you're doing those arm beats. Now that's only one part of the 100. While you're doing those arm beats, we've got options for the legs. So option 1 is to have one leg in tabletop for the first 50, and then we swap to the other leg. I'll do the counting, so don't worry about that. Option 2 is to have both legs in tabletop, knees on top of your hips, legs, shins parallel to the floor. That's why we do those arm beats. Option 2.5 is to have one leg extended and keep the other one in tabletop. Then you swap halfway through. And option 3 is to have both legs lengthening away. Now really press the back of your knees away from you, unless you're hypermobile, in which case it'll be 90%. And you can, if you like, turn your toes out, really zip up those inner thighs. Now that's going to be challenging. So those that are familiar with Pilates might want to have an upper body lift as well. So your choice, let's get on with it. I'm going to choose this option, and we're going to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep breathing, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't hold your breath, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Halfway, 3, 4, 5. Change those legs, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, yes, I'm feeling that. Whew. So, hold those knees in. Roll the head from side to side as you rock. From side to side. Perfect. So we're going to come into our bridging next. So let's think about those feet coming a little bit closer to your bottom. And hello, baby. So a little bit closer to your bottom in our shoulder bridge. We let those hands come down by your side. We will get those hand weights for the second shoulder bridge that we're going to do. But first of all, baby. Right, focus. Nice pull up and pull in. And as you come into your shoulder bridge, you're peeling your spine away from the mat. Really press down with your heels so that you fire up these glutes. Hello, baby. So cat is optional again. Hands down by your side, just coming up into your shoulder bridge. Keep the rib cage soft. So feel those shoulders nice and relaxed on the mat. Let them melt into the mat. Lengthen through the back of the neck. So first option with our shoulder bridge is to do some heel lifts. So we're going to do single leg heel lifts. And as you lift one heel, make sure that you don't sink in the middle. So press down through the heels, the one that is obviously not lifting, and squeeze through the bottom. So there should be no movement through the hips. Just tuck that in. So option one, heel lift, single heel lifts. We can move that to double heel lifts. And again, we're looking to keep absolutely steady eddy through the pelvis. No movement, no dropping. That's option two. Watch those knees, don't let them flare out to the side. Option three, I'm going to take a breath in. Exhale. Let's bring one leg up into tabletop. Keep pressing through that supporting leg. Leg comes up towards the ceiling. Back to tabletop and then lower. Same on the other side. Breath in. Exhale to really ramp up that core engagement. And lower. So as you bring that leg back to the floor, you shouldn't find that you've dropped through the hips. So heel lifts, double heel lifts, or leg extensions here. I'm going to add in another bit. Flex that foot. Heel is lengthening away as you drop that leg. Don't drop the hip, just the foot. Back up to the ceiling with a pointed foot. Back to tabletop and lower. Same on the other side. Don't lose your lovely bridge. So stay nice and strong. Any of those options are available for you. So do the one that you are able to do with good form. That might just be the heel lifts. That's absolutely fine. We want a nice shoulder bridge. Last one here. Point the foot to lift back up to tabletop and lower. And then we just return the spine, one vertebrae at a time, back to our start. You may wish to have a quick hug in between bridges. Let's get the hand weights ready if you want for our second shoulder bridge, and then just make sure that you've got the room overhead and around to the side before you get yourself up in your second shoulder bridge. So again, feet closer to your bottom, knees are bent. We're going to have a nice pull up and pull in. And as you peel that spine away from the mat, you are pressing down through those heels, firing up those glutes. Good squeeze through the bottom here. We don't want your lower back doing the work. So we want your glutes to be working here. So really lengthen out through those knees, and we can grab those hand weights if you want. So it's a nice breath in. And we're going to start with the arms up towards the ceiling. So we're going to do some marching arms. So marching arms, let's start them off slowly. One arm up, one arm down. We stay nice and stable through the hips because the arms are going to challenge your stability. You're going to keep pressing down through those heels, which is going to fire up those glutes. If you have any sort of cramping in the hamstrings, which can happen, just come out of your bridge, lengthen the hamstring, lengthen your leg, and take a few breaths and then come back. So marching arms. Think about those arms being nice and long as you lengthen them away. You might have to have a little bend in your elbow if you have shoulder issues that make this difficult. That's okay. Last couple, and we're going to change it to arm circles. So both arms up towards the ceiling, arms overhead, and then we swing those arms around, back up and lower again. Swing them around. As much range of movement as you can achieve. So if you can drag your knuckles on the floor, that's brilliant. All the way to the side, back up and over. And all the while, keeping those shoulders away from your ears, thinking about drawing the shoulder blades down towards your heels. Let's change the direction of those arm circles now. Keep pressing down through your heels so that you're lifted through your shoulder bridge and we're not sinking. Think about that bridge happening from your shoulders, out through your hips, out through your knees. Nice pull in through the tummy to keep you your lower back protected. Leaving those arms overhead now, we're just going to return the spine down, one vertebrae at a time, and the arms are going to naturally rise up and come over to rest by your side. Perfect. So we're now going to do some double leg stretch just to work on your core. So double leg stretch is, we've got some levels. I'm going to give you, start off at the lower level and add in. First off is going to be supporting those legs a little bit. So just holding the band so that your elbows are on the floor. And then we can bend those legs in, keep the band a little bit taut. And it's a breath in, engage through those abdominals and shoot those legs out. Keep the spine in neutral and then fold those legs back in. So up towards the ceiling is going to be slightly easier than lower down towards the floor. But you've got to find the level that challenges your strength, your core strength, but doesn't overcome your core strength. So we don't want the back arching away from the mat. Just go as low as you can go with those legs. So if that's up here and you can keep that spine in neutral, that's perfect. Option 1. Option 2, we get rid of the band and we just do the legs without the band to help you. And again, thinking about my hips and my shoulders, they're staying nice and neutral on the mat. My Pilates box is stabilized as we mobilize those legs. Option 3, we add in those arms. Now the arms don't just randomly come overhead. They mirror the angle of the legs. Option 4 is to lift the head and shoulders. Hips and shoulders, stay still. Exhale as you come away from the center. Inhale to return. Last couple. Keep pulling in through that tummy, don't let it pop up towards the ceiling. Last one, hug those knees in. Brilliant. Right, we're going to do some leg circles now. Better get a wiggle on if we're going to get all this done. So let us take one foot in the band. Your other leg can be bent or straight. Straight is the harder option. Bent is the easier option. Let it fall out to the side if it's bent, or lengthen it out if you're going for the long leg. And we keep that leg nice and strong now. So it's not just randomly lying there. We're pressing down into the floor. So we're going to take some smaller circles to start with. Don't worry about the hips. We're going to make those circles bigger and swing it around. We're looking for maximum mobility, so don't worry about the hips lifting and rolling about. We just want to increase that movement, that range of movement. Change direction. So again, come back up to the start. We start with little circles and then we increase them gently until we come to our maximum range of movement. The hips are wobbling, moving about, not wobbling. The hips are rolling about, that's fine. You can use the band to help you drag that foot around. And again, be aware if there's any pain, just don't do this. Reduce the range of movement. Hypermobility, 90% please. Right, let's bring ourselves back to the start point. Now we're going to be a little bit more fixed, a little bit more controlled through the center. So lengthen that leg away and we start to do our leg circles. Release the band a little bit. Don't hold it quite so tight. It's not there to pull the leg. It's there simply to guide it. Not even to guide it really. It's just there as, a mental prop really. The movement happens in the leg. This hip stays anchored on the floor. We don't go too fast. Think of half a circle while you breathe in, half a circle while you breathe out. Relax through the upper body. Let's change the direction of those circles. We want those circles to be ideally with a straight leg. Now, if that's really difficult, you can do it with your leg in tabletop. I want you to think about the relationship between your thigh bone and your hips. It's like you're trying to stir a cauldron. And keep that hip anchored. Last one or two, and we'll do the same on the other side. So again, with any of those options, we have got that option to have that leg in tabletop. So we do our mobility, what I call mobility circles first. So starting small, but we get bigger and bigger quite quickly, increasing the range of movement. And we do use the band just to help get that biggest range of movement that we can. So we're really stretching out. Last one. And then we change the direction of those circles. Make sure that we start small and get bigger and bigger. Should I even change direction then? It's hard to know. Maybe I didn't. No, I don't think I did. Right. Last one. We come back to that start point. And again, straight leg or leg in tabletop without the band. Press this supporting leg down if it's long, so that it's really connecting with the mat. Otherwise, if it's bent, just let it fall out to the side very gently without drawing your hips out of alignment. So leg circles. Just go as far as you're able to maintain that stable pelvis. So we're pulling in through the tummy, drawing up the pelvic floor. Try to get as much range of movement as you can. Again, think of that stirring the cauldron. Change direction now. Stir the cauldron the other way. Last couple. Lengthen that leg. And finishing up. We can bend that leg, let go of the band, and we're going to move on to our side lying now. So we've got some side bend, which is going to go into a thread the needle, which adds that little bit of rotation again. And it's optional to have that rotation. So with our side bend, we're going to use the back edge of the mat to line yourself up. Now your feet will be on the back edge of the mat, slightly bent at the knees, and then you can straighten out that top leg so it's nicely lined up. And your elbow is going to be directly underneath your shoulder. So make sure, have a look, check. We don't want it an angle there. We want that 90-degree, that's vertical through here. And we stay on our side, so leading with the hip and really pull in through the tummy. We've got a couple of parts to this. So we will start by pulling up and pulling in. Inhale, exhale, lift through the hip up towards the ceiling, and the arm comes up towards the ceiling. So we can go into our side bend as you try to lift through the hip a bit more and lengthen through overhead. Down, touch the hip down, go straight back up. Really press that hip up towards the ceiling. And take a break. So you can carry on doing the side bend there, just like that. Or we can add in a rotation. So we come up, lifting that hip up to hands pointing towards the ceiling. So press the hip up towards the ceiling, breath in, and then we're going to thread the needle. So we reach and turn, open up again. Keep that hip lifted up, reach and turn, back up and open, reach and turn. Now this is one option. The other option is to do another set of the side bend. Last one. It's tough on the shoulders, I admit. It is tough on the shoulders, but it is going to build up strength. So just do as many as you can. Let's lie down now. Let's have a lie down. Just lengthen that arm out underneath you. Place your towel between your ear and your bicep. And we're going to do some clams. So we've still got those feet bent, a bit closer to the bottom now. Still lining up with the back edge of the mat, which will line up with your back. So thinking about this top hip here, we're not going to let it roll back. We're going to press it forwards without actually moving it forwards. So squeeze through the bottom, breath in, exhale, open up through the knees. Just squeeze as you get to the top of that movement. Close the knees. So exhale and inhale. Your feet stay together. And you should feel that deep within your glutes here. Just make sure you have a little squeeze through the bottom as you open up, through the knees. You can lift those feet away from the floor, will be another level up. And just make sure, again, that you're not rolling back. So gentle forward pressure without actually moving through that top hip. And as ever, we've got engagement through the core so that we're staying nice and stable and neutral. So that means you've got that little gap under your lower waist. We're not just collapsing onto the mat. Last one, and we're going to stay open here. And we're just going to pulse it up. 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent. Straighten up, curl up, whatever feels good. We're going to swap sides. So we've got our side bend, thread the needle. Let's start with the side bend, all of us, and then you can either do another set of side bend or move on to the thread the needle. So let's set ourselves up again. So back edge of the mat to help you get a straight line. We've got the elbow underneath the shoulder. Less of a bend at the knees for this than we did in the clam, and then straighten up that top leg. So nice pull in, so we're not collapsing through the waist, we're staying nice and tall. Top arm across the body, and it's a breath in. Exhale, lifting the hip up towards the ceiling, the arm comes up, and then we go over into our stretch. Touch the hip down, straight back up. My elbows shifting. Really press the hip up towards the ceiling. Imagine that you are between two panes of glass, so we don't want to be rolling forwards or rolling backwards. It's a side bend, essentially. Let's do last one. Take a breath. So you've either got another set of those, or we can do the thread the needle. So I'll do thread the needle with you. So when you're ready, nice breath in, good control through the center. As we come up, arm comes up towards the ceiling. Oh, just adjust yourself, make sure you're okay. Then we do thread the needle, opening up, and then thread the needle, opening up. Press that hip up towards the ceiling, thread the needle, so we stay nice and active. Last one. And lower. Woo! Fantastic. Gosh, really hot. I think my heating might be on. Hope not. Right. Let's move on to our front lying exercise now. We're going to do a bit of dart and like a reverse 100. So I'll show you what I mean. So it's a sort of combo. Use the block, the towel underneath your forehead, hands down by your side with the palms facing the ceiling. And we just let those legs relax a little bit. And then we'll just do a few little movements to warm up the correct muscles. So it's a breath in. As you exhale, we really engage through the core, and then lengthen through the crown of the head as we draw up away from the mat. So good pull in through the tummy. Try not to feel it in the lower back. So engage through those abdominals and the pelvic floor to release the back muscles there. And the hands lift. And then we lower. So we start, we exhale, we lift and lengthen. We hold it as we inhale. And then exhale to lower. So this is option one. We're just using those back extensor muscles. Don't come too high. Think about, and we're bringing these arms up behind us a little bit. Keeping the shoulders nice and open across the shoulder girdle. And now we're going to come up And we'll do the 100 arms. So pressing those arms up behind you. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release down whenever you need to. Do another 2 or 3 of these. Exhale. Extend through the crown of the head. Good, pulling through the tummy, and it's an inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lengthen those arms, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we can lower down. Let's do maybe one more set. Good, connection through the core. Lengthen and lift, and it's inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Last one. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lovely. Let's come up onto all fours now. We can do some cat and cow. So very gently, easing the spine up towards the ceiling. Pull the tummy in, arching through the spine. Let the head hang between the arms. Press the mat away from you. And then we're going to lower through the belly, lift through the tail. Keep those shoulders back away from your ears. Keep looking down at the mat. This is into cow. And then we're going to go back into our cat. And down into cow. So lovely mobility through the spine. Keep looking down at the mat though, so that we don't get that kink in the neck. We want to lengthen the neck. Let's find a neutral spine now. And we can walk these hands around to one side. And then come back to the centre as we walk the hands around to the other side. A few breaths here. Let's come back around again. So thread the needle. So we draw the arm across the body, lower the shoulder, bend the elbow, just reach through. Take a breath or two. Back to the centre. Same on the other side. Back to the centre. We're just going to open up those knees, keep the toes together, sink back on your heels and reach those arms away from you. We're trying to lengthen through the spine. Come back onto all fours. We're going to do one last roll up to standing. So pop those toes under, walk the hands back, we straighten up those legs. Restacking through the vertebrae, coming back up to standing. Nice big breath in. Reaching up towards the ceiling as you press those hips forward. Lengthen and release. So give yourselves a clap. Well done. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you have a great day. So the next Mixed Ability Lockdown Pilates session is going to be Friday, the live session. So hope to see you then. And Thursdays I'm running Zoom classes. So if anyone's interested in finding out what my Zoom classes are about, please get in touch. You'll find me through email, through the power of email, or I've got a web address, a website. Anyway, I should stop going on. There's lots of options. Get in touch. Let me know how you found this, if you enjoyed it. That's about it, really. Have a great day. See see you Friday.